in an incident where a police had shot a black man in the back, and then went and planted a gun next to him and said that the guy had drawn a gun on him, which they found out after investigation the guy didn't have no gun. Police had shot him in cold blood.
May 1st, 2020. Think hard. That's the headline, but peep the slang. Although you were never told this, and neither was I, we have lived our entire lives under the thrall of an international military protectorate. That protectorate has ultimately been under the control of the Pope, running a two-sided game and making war with himself between the U.S. territorial government, which the British Queen oversees for him as a commonwealth, and the U.S. municipal government, which he directly controls. So the international military protectorate appears to have two sides or faces to it. One, the U.S. military, and the other, the U.S. Federal Civil Service. But in fact, both are ultimately owned and operated by the Pope. This has allowed for a great deal of fraud and asset siphoning to occur, and also has allowed the popes in the past to promote unrest and political takeovers and all sorts of other mischief, up to and including promotion of civil war as mercenary conflicts on our shores. It has also led to unwary Americans being conscripted into the military against their will, drafts, and used as cheap mercenaries in wars for profit and other abuses worldwide. We can and should blame the British monarchs, but we must also bring the cows home to the Holy Roman Empire and the Pope big time. This is lesson one, and it deserved to be well learned. Ancient Rome, including Roman military power, is still alive and still meddling in everything through the Roman Catholic Church and the United Nations. If we want to put them in their place, we have to step up and self-govern and put an end to their excuses for the existence of any such international military protectorate. Or our more immediate problem is that these swindlers are pretending to be broke and bankrupting everything in sight. The Vatican may be broke, but the Holy See isn't, and our contracts are with the Holy See. That is lesson two. Just because the Vatican Bank is all tapped out doesn't mean that the Queen and the Holy See are out of pocket. Prince Philip made off with $950 trillion in life force value annuities owned to the Americans and Canadians in April 2017. James Dimon stole $489 trillion from the city of Urban Trust that was supposed to go to the victims of this crime spree, but which was commanded and redirected to various banks. The Guadalupe Hidalgo Trust, what's that again? Hidalgo Trust, 33 children, is supposed to pay for social services and education and water resources, development and agriculture and infrastructure in 7 of our western states. Where is that money? Then there is the matter of the U.S. national debt, which is supposed to be offset by our American national credit. Where did that money get siphoned to? And the U.S.-China trade deficit, also we pay for the goods on our end of the pipeline, so who embezzled all that? There is no reason for any American or Canadian or Chinese to be suffering from lack of health care, or anything else. The rotten apples have planned to stage another civil war on our shores, using the regular military against the Federal Civil Service and its agencies, with us conveniently stuck in the middle and being the actual targets. The reason for this? We are in fact their priority creditors, and they don't want to pay us back. Dead men can't collect. The plot was discovered and aborted, narrowly so. Next, they went to China. They owe both the American people and the Chinese people vast amounts of money. They owe us the exact equivalent of the U.S. national debt, and they owe the Chinese the entirety of the U.S.-China trade deficit. So they have tried to gin up a war between America and China, hoping to get their two largest priority creditors to kill each other. How convenient. That plot was also discovered and torpedoed. Lesson 3. These guys are con artists who use identity theft and impersonation to access credit and assets that don't belong to them. They run up huge bills against the victim's assets and then kill the creditors. Now that everyone knows that's what they do and how they work, it is getting harder and harder for them to operate. The targets they painted on their victims are getting shifted to their own backs for a change. Now take a look in your wallets. What do you see? IOUs, known as Federal Reserve notes. But what else do you notice? These notes are military scripted, foisted off onto federal workers as legal tender. The federal employees and dependents have no choice but to use them because that is the policy of the corporations employing them. The rest of us get entrapped into using military script in order to trade with our own U.S. military and federal civil service employees. This is similar to the current situation where everyone is inconvenienced by the COVID-19 live exercise. The rest of the population is adversely impacted and sucked into the drama caused by the military simulated war. All the federal employees are obligated to go along with the farce and pretending that it is real. We civilians don't actually have to shut down our business or wear a mask. It is all phony, and Michael Pompeo came right out and admitted it, but the federal workers do, and because they do, everyone else gets inconvenienced and prodded into participating in this lunacy. For example, we find ourselves having to wear a mask to get a haircut because why? Because in order to serve federal employees, salons have to be licensed and go along with whatever song Uncle Sam sings. There is no law requiring anyone to have a license to have a license to cut hair in America unless you want to serve federal employees. No law requiring a license to practice law or medicine, or all we have to do is hang a sign in the window or on the door of our unincorporated civilian businesses. Federal employees and dependents deny service and see how long it takes Congress to change its tunes. There's no reason for you to shut down your business. There's no law requiring civilians to wear face masks or hunker down either. But as long as you put up with being imposed upon like this, they will impose and impose and impose. That is lesson 4. You have an obligation to declare your political status and resist their presumptions and impositions, or there will be no end to what they will try to foster off onto their employees and by associations onto you too. We have to refuse to serve them until they voluntarily adopt other corporate policies. They are, after all, supposed to be serving you.